My greedy stepmom is demanding I give her my late mother's house because my father told her she could. I, 31 years old, have a stepmother who my father married a year after my mother had passed away. I felt uncomfortable seeing my father fall in love with another woman so quickly. I never thought anything of it, until my father and I found out that my mother didn't leave my dad with anything on her will. Instead, all of her assets and her beach home was all under my name. My mother left me a letter and I ended up reading it and finding out things I wish I never knew. My mother, who was sick at that time, found out that my father was having an affair with another woman. She told me that she suspected it a long time ago, ever since they found out that my mother had cancer, and ever since then my father became distant. She told me that my father would constantly ask about her will, and how he would remind her that he will take care of the beach house when she passes away. My mother was heartbroken, and she spent her last few days of her life next to someone unfaithful. When I read the letter, I couldn't help but to break down crying inside my room. I wish I should have been there for my mother, and the more I cried, the more I felt anger and hatred for my father and my stepmom. When my father found out that he was left with nothing, he started flipping the tables and started screaming, asking why he wasn't left with anything. It was clear that my father only cared about my mother's assets, and not for her. I decided to leave my hometown and cut ties with my father and his mistress. I decided to move to my mother's beach house where I would try to start over. I've always worked from home, so moving to another area was never a problem. It wasn't until recently I got a text message from my stepmom. She asked me how I was doing and I didn't respond. She texted again and she was more straightforward. She told me that I needed to move out of the beach house because my father and her will be moving in, but if I wanted to stay, I could pay them rent for my room. I looked at the text completely speechless, not knowing if she was bluffing or if she was serious. I told her that the house was under my name, and that I would call the cops if they ever set foot inside my home. She never responded afterwards. I thought that was the end of it until a couple weeks later, and I had gotten a notification from my phone while I was out grocery shopping that there was motion near my driveway. I opened the app and saw both my stepmom and father stepping outside their vehicle as they continued to unpack their belongings. My heart sank, and I immediately felt anger inside me. I decided to call the cops ahead of time and told them that I had people trespassing my property. By the time I had arrived, the cops were also there. You can now check if there's a part 2 by pressing share and more.